Alright guys, what's up? So we're gonna start today's video back with the F100 again. In the last video series you guys saw, we took the motor out, fully rebuilt it, put it back in the truck and went to Arizona, made it, and everything worked and everything was great, right? Now if you guys watched carefully in the last couple videos of the truck, you guys probably noticed there's a little bit of valve train noise in the top end of the motor, and there is, and that's because what was happening is, it was kind of typical though, is after the cam break in, one of the rocker arms started to come loose. So normally you just do a valve adjustment after you break the cam in, you're solid. Well, in my case, it was a little bit more unlucky. So at the end of that last video, I was saying I was doing a rocker adjustment, and then I went ahead and kind of went through everything. But a couple things happened as I went ahead and I was doing that. So these are the rock arms, and I was kind of just going around them. As you can see here, so there's a tight one. That one's loose. Tight, tight, tight. That one's loose, and then those two are tight. But yeah, you can see the difference. That one's really loose. This one's nice and tight. That doesn't really have anything to do with which valve's open or closed right now. That's specifically because I pulled the studs out of the head, so that's sick. I lifted the rocker studs, basically, is what happened. It was actually pretty funny because looking back, a lot of you guys were commenting saying do a screw-in rocker stud style rather than press-in, because the press-in are probably going to lift out with a high lift cam and the compression and all that. And you guys are totally right. So what happened is, because I have a larger camshaft, the articulation will tend to pull the rocker stud out. It'll start to lift it out of the head because it's a press-in, and when you articulate it so much with a big valve spring, a lot of pressure on that thing, it'll start to pull it up and out. And basically your only fix is take cylinder heads off, either drill and tap and do a screw-in stud on stock heads, or we just suck it up and go to aluminum heads, because I think this motor makes around 11 to 1 already. The cast heads aren't going to be good on a motor like that. So there's that. I don't really know where else to go. Kind of in a pinch because I wanted to drive it. I know you guys are wanting a drive video. I want to drive it. I've done nothing but drive it in first gear into a parking lot. You know how freaking annoying that is? I mean, gosh, that sucks. So I really want to actually break the motor in and start actually driving it. I haven't even adjusted the clutch yet, but I can't do any of that until I actually get the motor figured out. Timing and everything else in the engine is good. It does not leak any oil. It doesn't do anything weird. It doesn't smoke or burn or do anything like it shouldn't. This thing so far has been a solid setup. The amount I've run, I think it probably has 1 to 2 hours of runtime so far. Probably about 2 hours of runtime, which is good. Everything's good. So that's good. I'm happy about that. I put a motor together and it didn't just blow up right when I started, so that's awesome. So I'll kind of use this screwdriver as an example to show you guys. It'll be kind of hard to see here. If you guys just look down this thing, you'll actually see that the one stud is higher. There you go, now you can see it. You can totally see that that exhaust valve one is completely higher. And if I was to lay like some sort of a screwdriver across it, or across the two of them, you can actually totally see the stud that lifted. There's two of them on this side that lifted. This one on this side, you can see it right about there. Now you can see that secondary, I think that's the intake valve, lifted up right there. You can totally see it clearly. So this stud is significantly higher. What ends up happening is it runs out of threads, and then I can't get some sort of spacer in there to actually get this thing to torque down all the way. You can see I ran out of threads. I also am running too short of a push rod. I know some of you guys commented that as well. That was my mistake. That was just a time crunch thing. I did not have time to measure out and get the right size push rod. I'm sure I need to go just a hair longer. I mean, it's close, but I just need to go a little bit longer. So now we got to go back and measure for push rods and put different cylinder heads on it, and then the deck height's probably going to change. So we're probably going to go from a 58cc to a 60cc cylinder head. But on the bright side, we still did get a couple things cleaned up. My girlfriend Maddie was helping me clean the interior, so the interior is all nice and cleaned up. Got the carpets all cleaned, because I did daily drive this for a while, so it got pretty beat up, but everything in here is nice. Again, I do need to do something for the radio delete, but yeah, I at least have a clean truck. I think we might probably get some new seat covers and reupholster these things, because this duct tape's really starting to piss me off. So kind of a damper to the video. I'm really upset that like just have to start the video out talking for the first like 4 minutes of the video, explaining like what I broke. So I messed up. My fault, but in terms of catastrophic engine failures, I'd rather have a lifted, you know, heads rocker stud over like a spun bearing. That would be really embarrassing. So kind of switching gears from the engine, we got to do some preparation for the rear end, because this thing was just spinning one tire down the whole track. So we're going to be pulling the third member out of this thing. This has the original big bearing 9-inch. It has 31 spline axles, a 410 center with a limited slip, but the limited slip's just destroyed. And the last time I took it to the drag strip, these are 295 50s, and it was just spinning one the entire track. And I was running slower and slower every time as it heated up. So we're going to spool it. I'm going to take the third member out, spool it, re-gap it, and redo the lash, and then I'm going to put a 1350 U-joint center on it. You know, our flywheel's brand new, clutch is good, transmission's pretty good. Drive shafts suck. We're going to put a drive shaft hoop in it, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the center out and rebuild it. cleaned it. All right, our third member's out. It's been a while since I took this thing out. I totally forgot how heavy it was. I think the last time I took it out was 19. I'm 21 now. So this thing's a lot heavier than I thought. I thought it was right around 100 pounds, probably around 100, a little over 100 pounds. And tweaked my wrist pretty bad and dropped it on myself, so that hurt. But oh well, I don't really care, it's out. I'm gonna move it and degrease it, but this thing is just so damn heavy. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna put some lightweight components in it just because it weighs so much. And I'm definitely gonna put it in using a jack next time, that's for sure. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing degreased and cleaned up, get it all power wash, get all the crud off it. You can see all the RTV all over it. So I was just trying to get it not to leak oil, and it still leaked. So I'm gonna power wash it, get all the grease and oils out of it, and then we'll just slowly start eventually taking it apart as I get new pieces. You can see the limited slip area inside there, and we're probably going to be putting a spool in this one. Alright, so last night I got this thing all cleaned up. We're pretty much ready to disassemble it and start going through it. I got a yoke on order. I'm going to go with a 1350. Got the drive shaft out so we can take some measurements of it because it needs to get rebuilt. There's nothing wrong with this particular one, but these are all 1310 U-joints. And I've blown this one up, I think 4 times now. You can actually see this one's starting to kind of pull away. The cap's starting to pull away right there. So this one's about to go. If I clutch something a bunch more times, it'll probably break. So we're going to go from the 1310 to a 1350, which means I do have to replace that yoke, which I have on order. And then last night I went ahead and I picked up this Strange Engineering 31 spline spool. I was going to rebuild the clutches in this thing, but I decided to just opt out and just go straight for a spool. It's just easier. I have a spool in my town car, and I like it actually a lot. And my truck's not my daily driver, so I don't really see an issue with it. And I've had friends that drive daily driver with spools, and it seems to be fine. So I'm gonna just try it out, you know, why not? I like the locked feel, it feels cool. I know when it drag races, it'll hook and it'll go. I don't have to worry about spinning one tire, so we're just gonna try it out and just go straight with the spool. I have plenty of other 9-inch third members that we can make another limited slip housing with a different gear and try that out. Maybe put my 375s on it and then we can run a limited slip on that. But we are gonna be rebuilding this in a future video, so here's the spool. Strange Engineering, you can see it right there. Pretty cool. Pretty stoked I got this. 31 spline axles, so that should work great. And then I'll kind of just take it apart, rebuild it, put it all back together, get it in the truck. I'm gonna order a bearing kit for this thing so we can actually get all the new bearings in it, and then we should be good to go. So that'll pretty much wrap up today's video with this thing. It's a little bit shorter than I want it to be, but you know, there's not really too much I can do right now. We are gonna be taking our time to go in and kind of redo some of the things in the front suspension. I wanna do new beam bushings, I wanna do new steering, I want to do disc brake conversion, which I have. And a bunch of other little tedious things I never got to before the show. I also want to finally polish this paint and try that out. I really been looking to do that for like years now, but I've been too scared. So I think I'm actually going to do it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you did, share it with a friend, and comment down below. I really would appreciate it. We got a lot of cool videos coming with this thing, and I'm excited to finally hopefully get it running. I've got some new engine parts on order, so hopefully when those show up, we can get the engine fixed. And by then, the disc brakes and the 9-inch will be back in it, and we'll have everything ready to rock. We can do some serious burnouts with this thing. This thing's gonna rip. I'm hoping with the engine parts that I just purchased for this thing to do a top end kit basically. It should make over 400 horsepower, but I don't want to put my word on that. But it should make around that, you know, high 300s, low 400s. That'd be pretty awesome. But anyways, leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new. I'll see you guys in the next video with this truck. Bye guys.